Hello guys, today we are going to be showing you Rhino 8 and some of the new features that you can do. And it's definitely a big improvement. I'm not going to be able to cover everything, but I'm going to cover you some of the really neat tricks that you can do which can really improve your workflow. Okay, so let's get to work. I'm going to start a new file. I'm going to hit Control N. I'm not going to save this. I'm going to just work in large objects, millimeters. It doesn't really matter right now. So the new version of Rhino has actually developed some commands that are based on SketchUp. And I know you might be wondering, oh no, this is horrible. SketchUp sucks. But, it gives additional value and options for your workflow. So I want to array a bunch of circles, and I'm going to show you the push-pull command. I'm going to just go to dupe edge to get my curve, hit enter, click on the middle key and join this. I am going to make a circle and I am going to array this curve. So I'm going to go to array curve. I'm going to select this circle. I'm going to select this curve and it's already defaulted as items. So I'm going to type in the command push pull. And what it does is it's going to select this geometry that has been isolated and I can just pull it up like this and I can create some Boolean differences because of that. And if I do, let's say I make another circle and then I type push pull, if I select this portion, I can select it, pull it, and create another Boolean difference. So you can see it's definitely, if you're familiar with SketchUp, it is definitely something that you can use, and depending on what the condition is, and it is a unique command. Another command that you can do is you can do custom creases. So I'm gonna click on the sub D tool. I just want to make I'm going to make a sub D cube. So if I type in sub D crease, if I select this item, I have the option to change the angle. So let me type in 34. So I can make a crease with 34. And then if I go to sub D crease, I'm going to select these creases. I'm going to make it 78. So you can see you can put multiple creases on an object. Before this command came out, there was only a crease command, and you can see if it's right here. If I just type in crease, it's only defaulted on 90 degrees, and you can't select a particular angle. So this is also a really nice little key, and especially if you're working on some industrial design project, having these multiple creases with multiple radii is really nice. Another good command that I can show. Let me go to standard. Let me go make a cube, and you can create offsets within curves in this object. So let me type in inset. I'm going to select the surface, and it's already giving me a default for the offset, which is 23. Let me increase it to 450. And now you can create an offset with these curves. By selecting a surface, it'll acknowledge the curve. So you don't have to type dupe edge and then join the layers and then do an offset curve. It just does it automatically with the surface. So if I click the enter again, I can click this surface. It already acknowledges what plane it is that it has to offset. I'm going to go 200, and that's it. So let's see what happens when I use a curve geometry. How does that offset? So I'm going to go to cage edit. I'm going to hit bounding box. I'm just going to use the defaults. I'm going to just manipulate this geometry. And I do have a video on cage editing and how this can be a very powerful tool. Okay, so let me go to the inset command. I select this and see, as you can see, the offset does run parallel with whatever the geometry is. And that is a very helpful thing because Grasshopper or Rhino, it gets very confused when you start dealing with really irregular geometries. So let me put 400 and I'm going to hit enter. And you can see you have this. Now if I go to push pull and I select this surface, I can pull it down. And as you can see, this is gonna take a little bit of time to run because obviously we're dealing with a very irregular shapes. So I am going to make my push-pull condition uniform. As you can see, if I push it, pull too much, it's starting to look weird. So I want to just push and pull, eyeball it, so that it looks like. And here you can see I did the push-pull. It created this condition, and if I wanted to give some thickness to this, I'll go to offset surface. Let me flip it. I'll make the surface maybe 67. Let's see what happens. And you can see we gave some surface thickness to this. Now, another good trick about Rhino 8 is that it integrates better with a 3D printer. And the command to get that would be the shrink wrap command. So if I select this command and then I hit OK, let me see what happens. Preview. Basically, this new mesh that's created from the shrink wrap gives a more accurate description how your object is going to get 3D printed. So this is another helpful tool. Another thing that is included in Rhino is the view. So if I go hit the right click on perspective, you can see there is a new function called monochrome. And this, again, this is kind of looking like SketchUp. It's kind of looking like the tune mode when you render in V-Ray. So this is another view. I mean, I don't personally like showing anything in these rendered views because I think it looks cartoony or not so great. But this actually doesn't look too bad compared to the other functions like, let's see, Arctic. Yeah, I don't really like this. What a ray traced. Yeah, this is just doing, this is actually running V-Ray. So pen, yeah, this doesn't look, but monochrome is not bad. But normally I always work in shaded. And also another thing that is also available, if I click on the properties and I go to tab, actually hold on, let me close. If I go to, let me go to render, current render, let me make it Rhino render. So if I go to properties and I go to materials and I click on the positive, let's say I click on the metal. Now the metal, hold on. Now what they've done here is that they've given a little bit more options in terms of how you can do your materials. One of the things that they did was add a bump texture with some preset items, kind of like what you do in V-Ray. I'm not somebody who's going to recommend rendering in Rhino, but they have given more options. So if you can't afford getting a V-Ray subscription, you can always use Rhino. But generally speaking, I do not recommend it. So you can see I was able to put a texture bump into the render, which is a new thing. I selected a metal surface and then I put a dot bump. And that is another good feature. Also, with uh, with with Rhino 8, if I go to Package Manager and I go Grasshopper 2, let me see, Grasshopper 2. You can download Grasshopper 2, and I've already downloaded it, and you just have to simply type in G2, and this is Grasshopper 2, and this will obviously be a different a, a different lecture, but Grasshopper 2 is here. Yeah, you don't have to worry. They're not getting rid of Grasshopper 1 because, I'm sure 99.9% of designers are using Grasshopper 1. So it would be pretty dumb to remove that, but it's here. But anyways, there are these new features of Rhino 8 are great. I definitely recommend upgrading. I've been upgrading ever since. I'm a Rhino geek. So I hope you enjoy these new functions. Thank you.